In this episode, we're coding out the Olademeji Odunsi website that we designed in the previous video. We are going to be using react.js. Specifically, we're using Gatsby.js, which is a React framework. So let's go ahead and jump into it. This series is going to be broken apart in different videos. So this part one, we're going to go ahead and set up our project. Like I said, we are using Gatsby.js, and if you want to learn more about Gatsby, I do recommend going to their site. They have a lot of trusted brands behind them, and it's definitely one of the biggest frameworks for React. We are using the Gatsby CLI, so if you want to use that, you can go ahead and install that. Otherwise, you can just clone the project from their GitHub repo. I will be adding starter files as well, so in the description, you'll find the starter file with the images needed to code this project out. First things first, let's go ahead and get into a directory that we want our project to live on. So I'm already there. To create a new Gatsby site, all you need to do is write Gatsby, new, and then in here is going to be your project name. In this case, I'll just put code-YouTube. Once Gatsby's done running, we can just clear this out and we can cd into the directory. So go ahead and cd into code-YT. That's my directory, whatever you named your project, that's where you go into. And if we hit ls, we can see all the files that currently exist. Now, next thing we need to do is install some dependencies. So what we could do is write npm install -- save. We're going to install node SaaS first. Then we're installing the Gatsby plugin SaaS for SaaS support within our Gatsby project. Next, we're installing smooth scroll bar, which allows us to give a nice smooth effect. And then finally, GSAP, which is the animation library. Go ahead and install those. And once that's done, we can continue on with the next steps. Now that our dependencies are done installing, we can just write code dot to open up our project within VS Code. And in VS Code, let me just break down the project for you real quick. In our source folder, here's where all the code can be found. You've got a components, an images, and a pages folder. Inside the pages folder, you've got three files. You got 404.js, index.js, and page2.js. So the pages folder is where all of your pages will be located. 404 represents the page not found, and then index.js will represent the home page, and page2 is an extra page. Next, we've got the images where just images will be hosted, and then the components where our components live. You don't necessarily need to worry about SEO.js, layout.js, and layout.css in this video. We will be deleting these three in just a sec. The image.js is very important though. We'll be utilizing Gatsby image. If you don't know what Gatsby image is, to give it to you in the most basic terms, it allows us to optimize our images into a small file size while still giving a good amount of quality. It also uses lazy loading, which is really neat. There's a lot more to Gatsby image, but in this video, I won't necessarily cover it too much. I'll just utilize it. But if you want to learn more, go ahead and check out the documentation that they provide here. Lastly, we have the header.js, which is just our header. Let's go ahead and do some work. In the index.js, we can just get rid of all of this. So let's just delete everything and just write a simple p tag that says home. Next, we can get rid of import link, layout, image, SEO. What link is pretty much the a tag, but in this case, link, let me get off the hover, but in this case, link will allow us to link between the different pages that live within our pages folder. So let's just go ahead and delete that for now. Save the index.js, and then we can also get rid of SEO, layout.js, layout.css. We don't need those. If you want to learn more, like I said, just check out the docs. These are pretty important, but for this video, we don't need them. Once those three files are deleted, we can jump into the package.json. And in here, you can change the names and description to your personal liking, and also the Gatsby config. In here, you can change the title, description, and author. And we also need to do one important thing. When installing Gatsby plugins, you need to also register them within this plugins array. So since we installed SaaS earlier, we also ran a dependency called Gatsby plugin SaaS. So all you need to do at the end over here is just type in Gatsby plugin SaaS like so. Make sure you use the backticks and go ahead and save this. We can then create a styles directory. just type in styles within the source folder, and we can write styles.scss, and here's where we're going to write all of our styles. Let's go ahead and set the body to a pink, background color of pink. Save this, and then within our index page, we can import that style sheet. So go ahead and write import / exiting the directory, jumping into the styles folder, and then simply calling in styles.scss. Save this, and then finally we can open up a terminal, and within our project type in Gatsby develop, which will open up our Gatsby site in the browser. It will also give you another URL for Graphql, and what GraphQL is, or sorry, let me mention Graphql first. Graphql is a web-based IDE for querying your GraphQL within Gatsby, and GraphQL is a query language for your API. I will link several GraphQL videos that really convinced me to start using GraphQL in the description. I won't really explain it too much here, but it looks like we did get an error. We're getting a generating JavaScript bundle fail. The components SEO is not working. So I think if we go into our page 2, we are calling in SEO and the layout, which we got rid of. So let's go ahead and delete those. Just go ahead and get rid of all this, and we can just write a p tag for page 2. And I believe in our 404.js, we're also calling layout and SEO. So we'll also get rid of those as well. So I'll just go ahead and write a div, and then in our p tag mention 404. So these are just basic functional components. They are, if you wanted to change it to a classful component or a class component, all you need to do is adjust that return statement. So we need to just go ahead and copy this, add in your brackets, and then return, and you're returning your JSX in here, and then anything written here is JavaScript. You can write your state in here or any JavaScript code. Why are we going left? Okay, so once that's done, it looks like everything is good to go here. Let's just exit out of this, clear it, and run Gatsby develop one more time. So that's ran, and like I mentioned with the GraphQL, it gives you an in-browser IDE to play with. And on top of that, you have the localhost 8000, which opens up our Gatsby site. So let's go ahead and click that. And we can see a huge pink background with home. The background color is coming from that SAS file, which is working. And if we jump into the other sections, we had a page 2. If we open that, we get page 2 here. And then I believe a 404 page. So if we just type in 404, we get 404. So these are the 3 pages we do have. But yeah, that's the project setup. Next, we're going to create our components needed to continue on with this project, adjust the header, and we'll work on the banner section. Look forward to part 2. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.